how to be unremarkable, to blend in, to not be noticed, to be a shadow like Men in Black, and yet still be heavily armed by nutnfancy. Here's my advice. Wear a very generic ball cap, a yellow Sierra Club t-shirt, loose fitting shorts if you want to go with a subcompact 9, 40, even a 380 inside the waistband, rocket, and then flip-flops, assuming it's warm enough for such gear. And actually, check that last one, not flip-flops, you can't run in those. Teva sandals. You can book it in those. And then this, right here. If anyone asks, yeah dudes, I'm just meeting up with the fellas, gonna play a little bit of tennis, grab a little lunch at the club, hang out, and then I gotta get back to my cubicle at work. And yet you are still heavily armed, not with a racket, but with your favorite AR-15. And what looks to be a tennis racket or a racquetball carrying case. And this is going to be my short review on the Blackhawk Diversion Carry Racket Bag. It's about 60 bucks. Comes in 3 colors. This is my favorite, blue. Also, as you'll see here, red and black. Philosophy of use. When would you ever need to carry an AR-15 like this? Well, my blanket statement will be as follows. As a free citizen of the United States, whenever you want to. How's that? We're not criminals. We're not the bad guys. Why worry about it? I mean, if you start having that discussion, if any of your friends are like, oh, why would you carry a gun like that? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to hide? Well, I'm trying to avoid criticism, for one, from my nosy and gun-hating neighbors. You ever lived in a situation like that you go outside with your gun and they're like looking at you sideways? Oh, what's he doing? You know, they act like you're some criminal because you have a gun like this, an AR-15. That's one philosophy of use. You just want to keep a low profile. It's none of their business what you're going to go do. And you're going to go plinking, go to a tactical shoot, go into a TMP run and gun. Who cares? It's your business. So anytime you want to carry a gun low profile, that's when you might want to adopt a case like this. If you were to delve deeper into philosophy of use, and I think this is fascinating, without rule of law. I mean, you don't want to be like trekking out looking like Joe Survival. I think that's idiotic because you will be outnumbered and they will take everything you have. That's what I think. You want to stay low profile. You want to avoid all conflict. You want to be, you know, handling any conflict at the lowest possible level. And whatever you do, you don't want to have armed intervention of any kind. And yet you have that insurance policy. This. So maybe you have to move from point A to point B. There's crowds you're going to be moving through. There is no rule of law in this situation. Maybe it's a city and you want to be heavily armed, not just with a pistol, but you're smart enough to know that a tactical carbine is going to make you feel a lot better and provide a lot more capability, easily out to 300 yards. Okay, so little philosophy use, and just for kicks, you like it. Well, let me add this too, and I'm glad I remembered this, is some guys say, well, I always travel with an AR-15 in my car just in case. I don't. I think that's ridiculous. I do not do it. Number one, you're risking theft. So if someone, for whatever reason, breaks into your vehicle and they think it's a tennis racket or whatever, hey, that could be a, $2,000 tennis racket, right? They'll take it, and then when they lift it, they're going, oh, wait, something else in there. Oh, I just scored a gun. Cool. Why? Because you felt the need to have a tactical carbine with you at all times. I don't personally do that. It's your option if you want to. In rule of law, normal cities, normal places where crime rates are normal, I just don't do it. I always have a handgun of one sort or another on me, but not this. Now, if things amp up where I felt like, the propensity for me to have an armed conflict, absolutely. And I've mentioned that in a lot of my videos. Out will come any number of weapons. AR-15 is primary, maybe an AK variant rifle. Okay. But watch out for theft. Little POU, whatever. I always throw that in there. How about the case itself? It says it can accommodate, I think if I get my facts straight, 29 inches overall. As you can see, unless you're running an SBR AR-15, you're not going to fit it in put together. And this is good and it's bad. I think it's mostly bad, really, because if I'm carrying this the way I would apply this, I want a ready-to-fight weapon. Zip, out it comes, ready to go. You might want to go with a PCC like this. reviewed, highly recommended, the Kel-Tec Sub 2000. Now, this sucker folds, but it will not fold in half because I have the Kel-Tec quad rail and I have a Vortex Strike Fire on it. But let's say, you know, I didn't. It's just a standard Sub 2K. And I'll just kind of show you how this would work. It will totally fit in here. You can see it's just bumping into the red dot here. But overall, good to go. Is it ready to fight out of, you know, the racket bag, the diversion racket bag? No. You're going to have to like snap together, and you probably won't run this 33 rounder in it because it's going to be too long. You might have them in backups or inside. There is a divider in it. I would just run a standard mag in it like that. And then that's going to be really quick into action out of this bag. The AR-15, as you can see, and this is just a standard 16-inch carbine gas system AR-15 Duracoated by myself. It's going to take just a little bit to put together. You've seen it. You just, you know, throw on the push pins, put it together. It depends on you how fast. Probably not a big deal. Actually, it's pretty quick. You know, and it just depends on the user. Quicker than a Sub 2000 or a pistol caliber carbine that fits entirely within here. I don't know. You decide. But it can carry it, and it carries it very inconspicuously. It's cool. One thing, and I kind of intimated to this, someone who's paying attention, who's a gun person, like myself, I would make you so quickly if you had a gun in this thing. So don't act like it's total camouflage. Anybody who's a police officer, law enforcement that knows about these types of bags, especially the Blackhawk product line, and there's other manufacturers. I'm not even going to cover those. I'm covering this one and another kindred spirit in the Blackhawk line I'll talk about. But one is you're going to see the thickness of what is supposed to be a racquetball or tennis racket, right? So anybody who knows the sport will know there's something else in that bag if they're paying attention. I know most people don't. They're too busy doing whatever, and they don't. So they wouldn't even notice. And then if they see you swinging around, they might see it has some heft to it, some mass, some heft. That's a person who's paying attention. Most people I don't think would. Especially your neighbors. Hey, dude's going out, he's got his freaking flip-flops on, he's going to play a game of tennis. I hope you don't have neighbors like that, I really do. But I know from TMPers that they are out there. And they want to keep a low profile. Or whatever reason, just like we talked about. Construction is excellent on this thing. I think it's made in Vietnam. A lot of the Blackhawk line is. Pretty much any tactical nylon you buy nowadays, unless it's tactical assault gear, shellback, or something like that, made in the U.S., going to be made overseas. That's not to say the quality is bad. It's actually excellent. The zippers are very good. They're smooth. They're durable. I haven't hard tested this yet, but from all indications, it's good. Nice zipper pulls on it. There's your handle grab. There's your shoulder strap for your very heavy racket. And medium to low grade nylon on that strap if you're interested. Most aren't. And then there's your divider like I talked about. Oh yeah, there it is. Made in Vietnam. Says it right there if you can see it. Really nice interior though. It's not cotton, so it's synthetic. Won't absorb moisture. It's kind of a synthetic fleece. You've seen it in a lot of gun cases. Taped seams. So this is a really durable, well-made case. I like it. 420 denier nylon is what it's made out of. And that's it. Simple. You might be tempted to run your magazine here in this pouch. So, dude, if you're like going out to play the game, don't be walking around like this. You know, where you have one of your mags printing. Again, most people wouldn't notice. But I forgot to say that. I was thinking the pouch went that way. I forgot it goes actually this way. Couple, that one's hot. P-mag. Couple mags in there. I mean, if you're really going for ultimate concealment, you decide. You might be printing. It's super lightweight, well made. You can find several weapons that will fit entirely in here that will be ready to rock and roll out of package. If you're a law enforcement dude, a Fort Constitution cop, sheriff, and for whatever reason you want to maintain a low profile, and you have an SBR AR or AK, I don't think there's many cops running those, but this would be a great option. Really good option. In fact, you could just have it over your shoulder. The public wouldn't even notice at all. And then if you had an active shooter situation, that would be another philosophy of use for this to respond accordingly. Now, the kindred spirit I was going to talk about is also, and I saw this at SHOT 2013, and it was excellent. It's called the Blackhawk Diversion Carry Board. And here's a photo I took at SHOT back then, and I really wanted to review it. I just, you know, my story. They had at the time a really cool two-tone Ranger green and coyote. Look at how awesome that is. I don't know how non-tactical it is. I think you're better served by the very bland colorations and the very bright colorations like you see on this bag, like the blue, the red, the black. I don't think that two-tone Ranger green is available anymore on the Diversion carry board. They're showing on the website just the gray and black version. It also accommodates up to a 29-inch weapon system. So if you can get it in that overall length, you'll be good. Has a muzzle retainer, a retention strap, and a padded divider just like this one does. About $123. I'm thinking, honestly, so it's actually twice the price of the one on the table. I think this one actually is more useful because of the philosophy of use. I mean, be careful when you go down to the backpack realm, which the Diversion carry board is. It's actually a small, narrow backpack. Almost reminds me of the Camelback Alpine Explorer. Awesome. But if you're running a backpack, well, why can't you just put your AR-15 in your normal backpack if that's what you're running? You know, I mean, how much camouflage are you achieving? You can make a case with the Diversion carry board backpack. It is very narrow and small, so it looks more like a day pack. But to me, I think it's less of a camouflage tactic and more of a, I want to carry more than the gun tactic. So you have a system, food, clothing, more ammunition, whatever. And you can, like I said, fit your normal weapon system into your pack. So obviously, if you wanted to run a pistol of some sort, you could carry several in this. You can see there's a Glock 22 against the Blackhawk Diversion carry racket bag. I recommend it. I think it's cool. It gives you some options if and when, as a responsible civilian or responsible for Constitution law enforcement guy or gal, you need to be low profile. Recommend it. It's out there. I think Optics Planet is selling them for like 60-ish. Recommend it. That's a Nut and Fancy review. See ya.